Amy had lived her life with purpose and determination. At 43, she was successfully juggling the roles of wife, mother, and career professional, raising her kids with care, and navigating the everyday challenges of life with a sense of accomplishment. Her health had always been steady, with no major issues to speak of. Like many other women, she followed the cultural prescription for staying healthy, years of dieting and regular exercise, mostly walking. It was a struggle, but she managed. Additional cardio from her spin class kept her happy, and though she sometimes wished for an easier path, she was proud of her ability to stay disciplined. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, something changed. She began to feel off, as if she wasn't herself anymore. At first, it was subtle. Weight started accumulating around her midsection, an area that, for her, had never been an issue. It was frustrating. Everything she had done in the past to maintain her figure now seemed futile. She doubled down, cutting calories and increasing exercise, but nothing worked. Alongside the weight gain came irritability. She began snapping at her loved ones over minor things. At work, she felt perpetually frustrated. She chalked it up to stress, but deep down, she knew something wasn't right. Her first visit to her doctor to try to get to the bottom of things didn't yield a satisfying answer. "This is just what women go through," her doctor said. "Work out more and eat less. We can prescribe an antidepressant for your mood." She left feeling dismissed, unseen. Her irritability worsened, and then her sleep began to falter. She would wake up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, unable to drift back into rest. Exhaustion became her constant companion, and the weight gain continued. Back at the doctor's office, she received a prescription for sleeping pills. The physician noted an additional 5-pound weight gain and recommended a 1,200-calorie diet and more exercise. She wanted to scream, as she was already eating 1,000 calories a day and now attending high-intensity interval training classes 3 times a week. Her hair began to thin, and her libido vanished. At her next well-woman exam, she hesitantly mentioned her loss of sexual desire. "Just relax more and have some wine," her doctor advised, looking over her glasses and adding, "If you don't use it, you'll lose it." Her frustration turned to despair when a nurse called to inform her that her cholesterol levels had risen and she was now pre-diabetic. The nurse offered her prescriptions for metformin and a statin, with the familiar advice, "Eat low-fat and continue with your efforts to lose some weight." Brain fog at work and her constant exhaustion kept her from applying for the promotion she had worked toward for years. Her husband grew frustrated with her lack of interest in intimacy, which only deepened her feelings of inadequacy and isolation. Next, her periods became heavy and unpredictable, often waking her in the middle of the night to deal with excessive bleeding. Her gynecologist ordered 2 tests, a painful in-office biopsy and an ultrasound, but each showed no abnormalities. Still, the recommended solution was a hysterectomy, though they advised that because of her age, she should remove only her uterus. Her healthy ovaries would continue to produce important hormones, they explained. Anemic and desperate for relief, she agreed to the major surgery. Afterward, the bleeding stopped, but new problems emerged. A few months later, she began experiencing severe hot flashes and night sweats, and a worsening sense of exhaustion. It occurred to her that this might be menopause, but when she mentioned it to her physician, she dismissed the idea. She still had her ovaries, after all. "You are too young for that," she said, again advising weight loss. Desperation drove her to social media, where ads for hot flash cures and libido boosters filled her feeds. She ordered herbal supplements, each promising relief, but none delivered. Intercourse, when she managed it, became unbearable. The pain was sharp, like razors cutting into her, leaving her in tears.